Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. So we're right in the middle of Advent knitting. We're like right smack in the middle of all of the stuff that I'm knitting on. And it is December the 17th, and I have two projects that I'm currently working on that I've told you guys about. And I think this is the third Advent update that I'm doing this year. And the first thing I want to share with you, you guys know I've been working on it's the MKAL Advent Calendar Stole 2020 by Brigit Kok. And the last time we left off, I had finished clues 1 through 6. So I've done clues 7 and 8 that I want to show you. And before I show you, I just want to say something now. Clue 7, it's probably the toughest clue we've had so far. I don't want to discourage you from knitting this, because if I can say anything, just take it stitch by stitch. But let me get started. I'll show you and you guys will better understand. So this was clue 6. This is clue 7. It's called the hourglass. And as you can see, there's so much beautiful cabling going on there. I'm hoping I can't see where I'm showing you. Okay. There's so much beautiful cabling going on there, and twisting and turning and crossing. And I absolutely loved every bit of it. But I will say this, if you guys are knitting this and getting to this point, this is not a knit that you can do while watching TV. Just this one clue. I think the other clues you can, but this clue, it's very complicated, very twisty turny. My grandparents, I said this in the Never Enough List group, and we had a good laugh about it. But my grandparents, they lived in the hills of Tennessee, and the roads were like this. You know, they would twist and turn, and my grandpa would say, I think I met my butt coming around the corner. And that is what this is. You twist and turn, and before you get completely turned around, you're turning back again. But it's a lot of fun. And look at the beautiful cables that you get from that. I'm really pleased with the yarn that I'm using this year. It's really showing the stitch definition well, and I'm really glad that I used the beads that I used. When you get through with that, again, you got the interlude section, which I'm alternating the red and green beads, making it very festive, and I love it. I'm glad that my husband talked me into it, and a few other people in the Never Enough Lace group. All right, so that was called, I don't think I mentioned that clue was called Hourglass. And as you can see, you know, it does look like an hourglass. Now we're on to clue 8. Clue 8 is called Spider's Web. And that's this. Beautiful. Now we get more into some super lace. Lots of yarn overs, slip, knit stitches, a central double decrease stitch. I think those are the only stitches. They aren't too complicated. You just got to follow along in the charts, or she has written text as well. So don't, worry if you can't read charts. I just learned how to read charts this year, but it has opened up my knitting a lot more. As you can see, if you get up close to one, it kind of looks like a spider in a web to me, which is why I think she called it spider web. But it's really pretty. I'll try to go more slowly so that my camera can focus and not be so fast. But I love it. I think it turned out really pretty. And then you go on to the interlude section here, where you do the red and green beads again. And she just sent out clue 9 this morning. It's called Stairs. I haven't started on it yet, but that's what I'm going to try to work on today. Again, this goes to December the 23rd. Last year she gave us the last clue early, like she gave us the last 2 clues early so that we could try to finish it. And I did finish it, and I wore my stole to Christmas Eve church services on Christmas Eve, which was kind of nice. After doing all of that knitting, I was able to have something new to wear to church. And then the other project that I'm currently working on for Advent, it's Lily Go's Starsight Cowl. This is a knitted cowl. I showed you clues 1 and 2 in the Advent 2 update that just released on the 17th. And since then, I have knitted clues 3, 4, and 5, and this thing is getting really big and really cabley and beautiful. I think when I left off, I had showed you like, turn it this way, but I showed you up to here where we had done this stitch, this wrap stitch, which is called a 4TT, and that's as far as I had gotten through clue 2. But this is what I've done since then. This is clues 3, 4, and 5. I'll try to hold it still so you guys can take it all in. There's lots of beads, there's lots of cabling, there's a lot more of this. Now this right here, these are really interesting. Those are those, let me show you close up, those 4 TT stitches, all in reference. And that clue 4 is a bunch of 4 TT stitches. It took a little bit of time to do, but I wanted to, last time we talked about the 4 TT, I told you how this stitch is supposed to be done, and I told you how I did it. So now I thought, you know what, just talk about it when I can show you. So I'm going to insert a clip right here of me doing the 4 TT stitch in the way that I do it, so that if you guys are knitting this or want to knit this, maybe you'll want to do it this way, because to me it just seems faster. But I'm going to insert that now. Okay, welcome. And I'm going to be showing you this stitch. I do a shortcut, and I think it would be a good time saver. I'm working on the Starsight Cowl Mystery Knit Along, and this stitch is called the 4TT. And I'm going to show you how you do it the normal way first, and then I'm going to show you how I do a shortcut. It's not that big of a deal, but I like to do it. It saves me a lot of time. You have to knit 4 stitches. You knit through the back loop, purl twice, and then knit through the back loop. And then those 4 stitches, alright, after you knit those stitches, you bring the yarn to the front. Then you move those 4 stitches purlwise back to the left hand needle. Wrap your yarn around the front to the back, like that. Then you move the stitches back to the right hand needle, purlwise, and you wrap the yarn around the back and bring it to the front again. Then you move the stitches back to the left hand needle, and you wrap it around the front one more time, like this, and around to the back. And you want to kind of cinch it up a little bit better, make it a little bit more even. You don't want to cinch it too tight, but you do want to cinch it. So trying to make a point here. Alright. Then you move those stitches, after you've moved the yarn to the back to the right hand needle again, and you're done. You go on to knit the next. That's the 4TT stitch. That's what it looks like. You wrap the yarn around it twice, and then you move on to your next stitches. Now I'm to that point again where I'm going to, the next 4 stitches are going to be my 4TT. So I knit through the back loop, purl twice, and I knit through the back loop. And I go ahead and bring my yarn to the front, but what I do instead of doing that, moving back and forth, is I like to put them on this cable needle, these 4 stitches. Just like this. And then I kind of try to push my stitches down so that I don't lose them, and I just move it to the center here, like that, and I just wrap it twice. kind of cinch it up good, not too tight, but you know, good enough to show, like that. That's what I'm thinking. And once I've finished wrapping them, I just move them onto the right hand needle purlwise. And then I'm done. I move on to the next stitches. And that to me is a lot easier than moving on back and forth. This is the one I did back and forth. This is the one I did with the cable needle. You really can't tell the difference with it. You know, it looks the same to me. And there wasn't all that back and forth, back and forth. And that's my shortcut. And I wanted to share that with you. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was informative. And to me, it just is much easier just to do it that way, because especially when you have a lot of these, and I mean each little section has, you know, some rows had 3 per section repeat, you know, and there was like 30 repeats or 17 repeats I think, and then so you know you're doing this a lot, and you can see on the back, you can see the wraps. There's a lot of those stitches when you do this, but anyway, it makes a really interesting design. It goes along with the cabling. And then after you get through that part, you're going to come up again. And I did already have clues 6 and 7. I just haven't had a chance to get to them. And I did see that there's going to be more 4TT stitches in there. So that's kind of why I wanted to also share. I am behind on this. The last clue just released today. So today is the 17th. And that's the last clue. So you can go look at finished projects probably in a couple of days. People will have time to finish them up and block them. I know a lot of people in that group were talking about wearing theirs for Christmas. So, excuse me. Anyway, beautiful idea. And I wanted to mention, excuse me, I wanted to mention, that's all the Advent knitting I'm doing right now. But I wanted to quickly mention, and I also want to say that all this information on all of these projects I'm going to put in the description below. So if you don't understand my accent, or if I, you know, say it too fast or whatever, you can look down below and get all the information. It'll take you to the Ravelry project page for that project. And I'll also put my Ravelry project page where you can look at the yarns that I used, how much I used, what needles I used, any notes that I put in there. Sometimes I'm good about weighing the yarn every clue. Sometimes I just weigh it at the start and at the end. But, you know, if that's helpful, you know, that'll be there. And I'll put that in the description below. I'm also wanted just to mention briefly, because I'm trying to keep these short, and just talk about the projects I'm working on. But on December the 26th, there is a whole slew of knitting coming along, and I want to do every one of these projects. There's just no way I'll be able to. But I wanted to mention them in case you guys are interested. Again, these all come out on the 26th. Lily Go is the one who just did the Starsight Cowl, is going to have a crochet cowl. That's a knitted cowl. She's going to have a crochet cowl along where it's mystery. You get the clues as you go along. So it's crochet, and it's called After Party Crochet Cowl. It'll be fun. Her patterns are amazingly well written, and I would love to do it. I think it uses, she's going to utilize some of those Advent yarn groupings that you can get, or stash yarn, you know, little pieces of stash, and like one main color to put it all together. So it'll be very colorful, very pretty, and her patterns are amazing. They always turn out just stunning. The next one I want to mention is the Nomadic Knits. They have the 12 Days of Knitmas. That one is also going to be utilizing Advent skeins or scraps of yarn in a main color. I think that's the thing to do this year, since those have become more popular. And I did Nomadic Knits. That was last year was their first time to do a knit along, and then this will be their second annual. I don't think I'll be able to do this one this year, but I did do the one last year, and the video will be coming out later this week. I think in about a week I'll be doing that video will be coming out, so you guys can see. It'll still be before the 26th of December, before this starts, so you can kind of see what type of knitting they do. I know that this is going to be different colors, so probably each color will be a different pattern. I know it's going to be a triangular shawl instead of, last year it was just a rectangular stole scarf type of thing. So that'll be fun. And they have a really fun Facebook group that you can go and chat on, and it was a lot of fun. I would love to do that one. I haven't decided yet. I think I've kind of decided which ones I'm going to do, and it's going to be probably the next two. The next one I want to mention is, I've mentioned this before. I showed you guys the yarn in my last WAYK update. It's the Boo Knits Color Me 12 Days of Christmas. It starts on the 26th. It's going to be, I think, an asymmetrical triangular shawl using 4 colors. And I showed you my Knit Picks DK weight yarn. You can go check that out. Again, the 26th, it'll be less lacy. She's known for her lace, and I think this is going to be a more solid type shawl made with DK weight yarn, which she always uses like lace to fingering weight. So it's going to be more substantial, kind of a warm weather knit, and I think it'll be really pretty using 4 colors. The last one I want to mention is the Hybrid Knit Along with Stephen West. He's releasing that on the 26th. It's going to be 2 different shawl patterns, so you can pick. One's going to be a crescent shaped shawl, another one's going to be a triangular shawl, and you can pick which one you want to knit. You will see the pattern on the 26th, so you can see if you like it or if you don't like it. You can pick which one you want to knit or not want to knit. I want to try to do both of them, but again, I am going to reserve my right to take a look at the pattern first. I do have yarn picked out. I showed that in my last WAYK update for both of them. He has picked gradient sets for the sets he's selling in his store. So I have one that's a gradient, and then I have one that's just kind of colors everywhere. Just because who wants to knit 2 gradient shawls? Let's have some fun in there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for letting me share all my Advent knitting with you. I hope you guys are having fun and knitting during this Christmas time. And again, have a wonderful day and full of all the things that you love. And we will see you guys next time.